Hello, everyone. Welcome to Caring Cup Conversations. I'm Ayen de Torre, and I will be your host for tonight's workshop. Grabe, it's already December. It's the last month of 2020. And the first episode of Caring Cup actually aired back in September, where we talked about coping behind the front lines, and we had medical frontliners with us. And now it's December, patapos na ang taon, at also parating na ang bagong taon ng 2021. So good evening, everyone. Thank you for being with us tonight. And hopefully, our next topic will be very relevant to you. It will help you slow down, think about our everyday moments, look back at the year that was, and also look forward to the year that will be entering and welcoming in just a few days. So, the topic for tonight will be the art of delaying. And it's really relevant right now because ito na yung season where we buy our new planners and journals to welcome the year ahead. And we know that Coffee Bean and Tea Leaf actually came out with a new edition of the Giving Journal. And it comes in three beautiful colors. And this is just one. So you get the chance to win 2021 Giving Journals all throughout the show. So it's very, very exciting. And what's good about this journal is you can actually fully customize it. So you can use the stickers of months and do this. So you can start anytime that you want to. And what's good about that is today you can actually win not just one, but three giving journals. And you can do that by either sharing your questions to our amazing guests via the comment section below. And we'll also have a special challenge later on. So be sure to tune in. And I think the thing with journaling is you want it to be your own thing, right? Hindi lang siya ang page na nalimutan mo na at inaalikabok na dyan sa may desk mo. But you want it to be customizable with stickers, with your quotes, with collages and all that. And if that's something that you're into, then you've come into the right place because right now we're actually going to be interviewing two amazing creatives whose hobbies is to create amazing journals. And again, all throughout the show, just keep asking your questions on the comment section below to get the chance to win a giving journal as well. Okay, so good evening, everyone. And now let's all welcome our first guests. So, our first guest speaker is a visual artist and journaling enthusiast. Tonight, she'll actually flip through the pages of her most creative journals and talk about the art of visual journaling. So, for everyone that's here, let's give her a round of virtual applause and let's all welcome Paula Esteron.
Hi
Hey,
everyone, a
Paula!
pleasant evening. Hi
Hi,
Ayen.
Paula. Good evening. Thank you for spending time with us tonight. Sobrang
So,
dami ng questions. Actually, if you look at the comment section, ang dami ng tanong about whether, where do you buy your art materials and all that. But I think you'll actually walk us through your process, right?
yeah,
In a bit.
actually. So, I think
But maybe, yep.
I'm gonna start the presentation now.
Yeah, go ahead.
But before I start with the presentation, I will tell you something about how I started first with journaling. So,
Sige,
I
go.
actually started since high school. So, I think Ayan would also relate to that. Yes. So,
Yep, super.
I think I started with functional use of it by scheduling projects, extracurricular. Then at some point, may mga personal stuff din sa journal, like, cringy stuff like high school crushes, um, heavy school load, maybe like that, something like that. So start with this short presentation. I'm just gonna show you some relevant topics. Of course, I would not tell you anything too nitty gritty or too detailed
Yeah.
about journaling. So that's why the title of my short presentation is the No Rules Rule Journaling, because I want to debunk the myth that when you say journaling, it's just for the creatives. Of
Mm.
course, anyone can start with journaling, um, I mean, hindi siya kailangan an individual can start journaling kahit wala siyang art skills prior the journaling practice.
So
So for today,
hindi required na magaling ka na mag-calligraphy? Is that
yes,
ano, wala namang ganong
oo.
requirements?
Oo naman kasi for today, I'll be talking about the design thing. So first things off, to answer your question, Ayen,
Mhm.
when you say design themes kasi, it's you who will decide on what theme to work on with your journal. So, gaya nga ng sabi mo, you don't need to know anything about calligraphy.
Mhm.
So, you can actually have a theme of like junk journal lang or collage wherein you can just paste ephemeras like tickets, receipts. I mean, we all do that. Whenever you're a starter or a beginner with journaling, I mean, diba, if you don't have ideas on what to put on there, so you start with that. Then sometimes others work with color palette. So sometimes they would put a theme like earth yung tones, vintage. So I think Ayan, you have ideas na rin on what
Yeah.
theme. Maybe the
I
viewers
love
na rin.
earth tones. I think actually one of the viewers said, si Kim, she loves yung intro mo pa lang na there are no rules. It just makes
Yes.
it less intimidating for a beginner
Mhm.
to start journaling kasi wala namang requirement or degree or art thingy that you need in order to actually start.
Yes, that's actually true because if you're going to see my journal spread in my Instagram, I don't have a particular theme, but
Mm.
I think the usual style is a colorful one. So I don't think I would only promote like earth tone or something. Pero
Yeah.
yeah, I always work with something colorful lang. And of course, when you do journaling, sometimes you can use purely text lang, like what you do with your diary. I mean,
Mm.
no one would dictate what you should do with your journal. And of course, others would prefer doing doodles and urban sketches. So now for the inspiration.
Mary actually, sorry, Mary actually asked what's your go-to palette. Pero kakasagot mo lang that it's really like a
Hmm,
burst of color, a rainbow
yes,
for
actually.
Paula. Habang ako naman more of earth tones, as you can see from my background.
Sometimes I'm trying to work with earth tones din pero parang I'm stuck with green tas mamaya may yellow na tas magkakaroon na ng blue then it would end up rainbowish lang. So wala.
Mm.
I don't think um my style is really stuck with something colorful. So for the inspiration, so ito yung madalas na tanong with the beginners.
Mhm.
Actually, you can talk anything under the sun. Kasi when you're doing a journal naman, it doesn't have to be this book will talk about highlights of your day. I mean, well, anyone can do that. Pero sometimes you can talk about small things. Pero ako kasi, I focus on nature, travel, but that's pre-COVID period pa. I mean, we,
Yeah.
we all we all are stuck in our own homes. So sometimes if you have particular interests, I also journal about playlists, series or movies that I've watched.
Mm.
And ayun, sabi ko lang kanina, small things lang. So it's actually anything lang. So it doesn't have to be like this planner should talk about ganito ganyan lang. So don't be
Yeah.
stuck in one topic. So ayun. So when you start when you start visualing art in your page, this is where the layout comes in. I think ito yung madalas na question din kasi how do you arrange this stuff, arrange the text? So, not to be technical about it. It is about the overall look of your spread on page. So, it doesn't have to be like what you see in
Mhm.
Instagram. So, sometimes, yung iba nakafocus sa drawing lang. Then others would be na purely text. Then yung iba photos lang. Then yung iba like collage of the receipts or tickets that they have for memorabilia. Pero sometimes others would work with combination of all. So it's not a bad thing. So no rule naman talaga. Wala talagang rules sa paggawa ng spread sa journals.
And I
So
guess trial and error siya, no?
yeah,
Parang
actually.
lagay mo muna lahat and then you can start taking out things
Mm-mm.
or flip the page and then start over if it's something that hindi pa sigurado or hindi pa akma or gets dun sa theme that you want to get into.
Yes, totoo yan. And also, whatever you see in social media, I mean, like me, I post some spread in my Instagram, but it doesn't mean that's the correct layout or that's the correct combination of style that you want to put. You really have to explore it. Kasi ako, masasabi ko, if you're going to flip through my pages, I would say not all of them are like artsy. I read you. Sometimes it's just literal mess. I mean, meaningful siya sa akin. So, that's why it's in the
Chaotic
journal.
mess.
Yes.
Sometimes
So,
the mess, dun mo rin makikita yung art, di ba? Like, it feels like a mess thing kasi you're just putting your brain onto paper pero
yeah,
eventually may makikita kang common
that's
thread.
that's the right term, brain dump. So I mean, you make something out of that brain dump. So here's a sample of the doodle layout. So I'm gonna show you some
Ooh,
pages. So here, it's
ganda
purely doodle.
naman.
Yeah. So just to like um have a remembrance of the places I've visited. So actually, yung nasa right side of the drawing is just outside my window. I see that every day. That's why I
Kasi
decided to
yun,
draw
yun
that.
na yung nabivisit nating place ngayon during the pandemic.
I mean, let's blame it on the quarantine or lockdown. So, yan ang nakikita ko everyday na view. So, yeah, I decided to draw. That's why I said earlier that you can also talk about small things lang. Then, for this next layout, it's a combination of doodle and some short story. And on the right side, I think I have like, what's this, a flyer from Intramuros when I visited Intramuros with my friends. Then
Cute.
I also create fold ups. So this is interesting because I think sometimes a remembrance, anything like flyers or tickets,
Yeah.
sometimes hindi sila nagpipit sa notebook eh. I think our giving journal is just in, in basic size, so medyo maliit
Yeah, I think
siya.
it's a basic notebook. So, pwede mo pa
Yeah.
siyang i-extend or
Mm-mm.
dagdagan, no?
Yes. So, pwede mag-create ng fold up. So, para may idea lang din kayo anong pwede nyo gawin doon sa mga long papers. You can actually fold it, then create something like card fold. Then,
Mm.
I also put photos as part of the layout, like this. So, actually, yan, wala talaga siyang ayos. I just like dumped it literally there. As in, okay, wala na, wala na maisip. Gusto ko lang matapos tong page na to.
Pero
Pero,
alam mo yung
yun,
dump mo, mukha pa rin siyang maganda. Iniisip ko kung yung dump ko talaga yung sobrang gulo. But yeah, it looks like a chaos in your head. But in my head, it's like, it's really beautiful and seems really organized already.
yeah, maybe because of the colors din.
Baka,
Ayun.
baka.
So, at times, I also like putting calligraphy because
Mm,
it's also like a filler. Like if
mm-mm.
you're in a mood of, kunwari, siguro sad ka for today, then you found out a sad quote over the internet. And to, I mean, sometimes, di ba, you run out of words. Then,
Yeah.
hindi mo na
But
lang
you
masabi,
find a quote na parang, oh my God, ito yung nararamdaman ko
yes,
ngayon.
it's very fitting at the moment. Tapos, I mean, well, hindi mo na lang din masabi in words. So, medyo
That's true.
kulang ang words. So, you just put a quote. Then, sometimes with the calligraphy, um, if you're not into like um, creating a commission out of it naman, you can actually try calligraphy at your own, on your own.
Really?
So, yeah, actually, there are a lot of tutorials naman online. Pero when you start taking commissions out of it, that's a different story na. So,
Mm,
for journaling purposes naman, if the audience is just you, I mean, who cares if it's not that perfect? I mean, it's just a filler most of the time.
yeah. Where do you
Then,
usually get your art materials just before we move on to the next part? I mean, kunyari, I'm such a newbie. Literally, I only have a pen. That's my only creative material. Where else can I get stuff that's easily,
but
accessible?
but to be honest, I really started just pens lang, not to specialize with brush pens. I mean, nag-ano na siya, parang nag-expand lang siya to like particular set of materials. But for the materials, it's available in our local bookstores naman. So, you really don't have to worry about it. Ayun.
Right, great.
Okay. For the next layout, I also incorporated ephemeras. Yan, yung mga ganyang memorabilia lang. And another layout, but in overall doodle. So, I think I have doodles in that page then.
Oh, you also press flowers inside
Yeah,
the pages.
uh,
That's
I mean,
cool.
for others, it's just random grass that you can find anywhere. But, sometimes it looks good in the pages, actually.
And maybe for the plantitos or plantitas that are watching, di ba, gusto rin nila na yung mga plants that they have grown through quarantine, they can also press some of the
Yes.
flowers or the leaves as a
Mm-hmm.
remembrance.
Okay. Yes, tama ka dyan. So, there's another layout, but in overall doodles naman this time. So, here. So, I randomly drew people lang that I saw in the cafe because I usually hang out in cafe. So, ayan. Yan yung mga taong nami-meet ko. So, yeah. Hindi siguro nila pa, but okay. For the sake of like immortalizing the moment, parang gano'n. And now the question is, I'm now convinced to start. So what do you need?
Mhm.
And you actually need the basics lang. Like, well, when you say creativity, whatever you have, whatever
Mm.
skill you have, I mean, kahit zero skill, basta you try, yun na yun eh. You just go on it. Then, and by the phrase just the basics, um, for the basics lang, you can actually have a planner and pen lang. Gaya ng sabi mo kanina. You can
Mm.
actually start
So, pen
there
and
lang.
paper. Ito na yun. Pwede na to.
Mhm. Of course, if you want to extend your basics, you can have things like this. But, you know, parang ano lang siya, suggestions lang but not actually a must-have,
Prerequisite.
I
Yeah.
must say. Ayan. So, I have washi tapes here, some stickers, actually old papers, panggawa lang ng texture sometimes on the spreads. Now, if you wanna go extra, you
Mm-hmm.
can have some paints, paintbrush, brush pens, pero alam mo yun, 'pag feeling mo lang you wanna go exploring beyond journaling, you wanna have like calligraphy or some sort of painting rin. So, yun
Mm-hmm.
yung mga puwede mong materials na bilhin. And I think, yeah, everything is available in our local stores. So here's a doodle layout with just fine liners or sometimes colored ball pens lang siya eh. Yan. Then sometimes, of course, if you're not over with school stuff like highlighters, I also use that for lettering. Kasi, well, matagal na akong hindi student, so I still
Yeah,
have some.
ako rin. Mga 10 years na ata akong hindi student. But I mean, you probably still have it somewhere in your room and at least you can
Mhm.
use it to highlight what's important to you, not necessarily readings from school.
Totoo. And that's a good thing about journaling because you can actually use anything that's readily accessible already to you. So, ayan. So, sometimes if I'm feeling artsy at the moment, I also paint. Pero
Hmm.
most of the time, I like painting, flowers. Well, medyo plantita din ako. It's just that I can't take care of an actual plant. I just love looking at them. Pero siguro, ganyan na lang siguro parang memories ko with them. I just put them in journals na lang. So, eto na. Ito na yung kailangan i-take note ng viewers at the moment. You can, so when you say journaling prompts, ito yung mga challenges that you can start with your journals. So, I hope the viewers will take note. So, the first prompt is, what's in my makeup bag? Pero, sige, kung hindi kayo girly,
What's
what's
in
in my
your
bag?
bag
Yes,
in
tama.
general?
And then, what else? So, I think I still have another prompt. So, most interesting thing that you can find from where you are. So, kung pansin nyo yung mga challenges and prompts I have here are actually like quarantine edition.
That's true. Because where we are is basically where we've been for the past
Yes,
year,
9 months
almost,
ka.
almost
Ano,
1 year now, for sure.
totoo. Then, if I had a genie lamp, so kung ano yung man yung wish nyo at the moment, then you can try to put a spread with the topic like this.
Hmm.
Show me how much you love maybe a particular place that you want and some new discoveries.
Pwede namang not necessarily or present, di ba? More of like
Yeah,
looking forward to the time when the world opens up again and we can
totoo,
travel
totoo.
or reconnect with our loved ones as well.
I think I spent my journal spreads this year being reflective lang, not present moment where parang wala, reminiscing na lang talaga. So, for some practical reasons, I like putting up a prompt that's specifically about colors. Like if you have newly acquired art materials, pwede mo na siyang i-journal.
Parang palette, ano, sort of like
Yeah.
palette reference at the start of your journal.
Mm-hmm. So, just an insight na rin about journaling in general. Because the real essence of journaling is about yourself. So, it's not about um, what you will present in social media. Kasi unahin mo yung sarili mo. I mean, the easiest topic you can talk about is about yourself, not
Mm.
others. Diba? I mean, yeah, you do journal because it's for yourself. And my takeaway about keeping up a journal is it creates a habit. And when you create that habit, parang mahirap na rin siya maalis sa sistema mo. So, when you start it actually creates a schedule in your system. Na rin na. Sometimes it's fulfilling to like finish a book in a year. So, so that's it.
Yay!
Uh,
And actually, Crizzle also mentioned na yung prompts, hindi lang siya reflective of your own. Pwede rin siya to collaborate with other people that are into journals. Parang
yes,
it
yes,
could be
yes.
like a group 1 week, ito yung prompt you together. And then via Zoom, you can like show your spread to each other. Para we're still connected even
Mm-hmm,
though we're physically apart.
mm-hmm. All right.
And I'd like to ask, I know you have a demo for us right after
Mm-hmm.
this, but I'd like to ask, what kind of art are you going to try to put in your journal next?
Well, I think I'm going to stick with my particular style, which is a combination of text and doodles because I want to improve more of my drawing skills. So that's it.
Well, and for our viewers, kayo rin, just answer the poll question. What kind of art will you put on your journal? Para maybe we can also gain inspiration from each other's answers as well. Okay, I'm excited to see. I think Paula will show us like a time-lapse video of what it's like to transform an empty page into a
Mm-hmm.
creative journal spread.
So, okay, for this journaling process, I usually prepare everything ahead of time because when you say journaling time, it's actually a Zen time for me. That's why
Mm-hmm.
I really need to like prepare everything first before I proceed doing it. Kasi, di
Mm-mm.
ba, I mean, ang hirap naman nung you started doing the journal already, but you know,
Kailangan mong hanapin pa yung mga gamit
totoo.
along the way.
So, parang mas magandang naka-prepare na lahat. So for this
Mm-mm.
journal spread, I actually talked about some of the 2020 highlights. I mean, for the others, it might be just mababaw. But for me, these are the things that stuck in my mind for this
Mm-hmm.
year. I mean, maraming
It's
nangyari, but
personal.
yes,
Yeah.
it's kind of personal. So, ayan, some of my highlights lang yan, wherein I started getting addicted with the game Animal Crossing. Because,
Oh,
I mean,
cute.
that's the only
Mhm.
thing that I can, like, interact with some of my friends who are also online in the game. And then most of the time when I do the layout, I always incorporate lettering, calligraphy, and some of the doodles, as you can see here that I've mentioned in my presentation earlier. And then sometimes I do stamping. Well, I don't have a lot of um, stamp stamping materials, but that's just the thing with journaling. You really don't have to have a lot of materials.
Yeah, that's true. And you mentioned that since it's a habit, right? And eventually, kapag habit na siya, it's easier for you to start a new spread. I wanted to ask, like, how does journaling help you? Why is it something that you keep on doing since high school?
Um, as we have like talked about earlier about the words brain dump. I mean, it's
Mm-mm.
literally like that. So, when emotion is like stirring up, because I'm not the type of person who really express. verbally. I mean, it's
Yeah.
in person just an introvert. So that's why journaling really helped me express emotions. Because I don't know. I mean, I put everything into writing more than anything else. I mean, is there such thing? Or baka ako
I think
lang?
so, meron. I'm sure marami nakaka-relate. If you're an introvert on the comment section, please let Paula know that she's not alone. Kasi ako, extrovert ako eh. Mahilig talaga ako magsalita. Minsan hindi ko naiisip yung bagay, sinasabi ko na. But I know for introverts and more like reflective people, mas gusto nilang to write it down first before you
Mhm.
actually share it with the world.
Yes. That's
Ayan na,
why.
pumasok na yung mga introverts. So si Cyril, Mary, welcome to the club. I hope you guys, thank you also for sharing your thoughts in the comment section kahit na nasa-shy kayo.
And also for this layout pala, I ended up like the finishing touch is putting up stickers. So I think
Hmm.
I really have to like put into good use the hoarding tendencies I had with stickers. I'm really a sucker for stickers.
At least ginagamit mo do, hindi
Oh,
lang siya nakasisang tabi dyan.
yes.
All right. Thank you so much, Paula, for showing your journals to us. And bilang introvert ka, maraming salamat that you had the courage to actually share your story and creative process with the rest of the Caring Cup community. And I'm also excited to start on my own giving journal, maybe right after this live stream. But if you guys have a copy already, you can actually bring it out and just doodle as we go through the workshop. And in the meantime, we'll have a quick break and we'll see Paula again for the roundtable discussion later on. So thank you again, Paula, and see
Thank
you later.
you. See you later.
And now it's time for a challenge break. Since kanina Paula said na you can write anything that you want on your journal, and one way that you can write or yung prompt niya is to look forward to the things that you'd like to achieve or experience in 2021. So our challenge and also our giveaway contest is I'd like for you to share your 3 personal goals for next year. So ito, nakalagay din siya sa bottom part. So just type it on the chat box. It can be generic or specific as long as you know that this is something that is meaningful and personal to you. And while you're thinking about them, because this might take some time, I'm going to share naman mine. So here goes. My personal goals for 2021 are one is to move my body more. I actually just bought a mountain bike. So I want to be able to bike around my neighborhood and really see all the sights and sounds. And maybe when I'm feeling brave, go up to Antipolo. Number 2 is to exercise naman my mind. I want to take on projects that really challenge me. So maybe more live streams like this and more design workshops that really test my skills. And the last, since if you notice my theme now, body, mind, the last is to really sort of nurture my heart by making sure that I stay connected with my loved ones. Kahit via Zoom lang or playing Among Us or even just chatting on our group chats. I think it's so important that we stay connected and stay grounded with the people that we love kahit na we're not really seeing each other physically. Kasi ang hirap din naman talaga if we isolate ourselves and naka-quarantine na tayo. All right, I'm already seeing some of your answers, but those are my 3 personal goals. I hope I'll be able to achieve them. I think they're quite reasonable and practical on my end. And all throughout this session or workshop, you can actually share your goals and we'll choose one. Ay, hindi na lang pala one winner. I just got word that it's not just going to be 3 giving journals, it's actually going to be 10 giving journals. So one person will be chosen as the one with the most unique and impactful 3 personal goals, and the 9 other lucky winners will get the journal for their best impactful questions for our guest speaker. So sobrang, wow, biglang from 3 to 10. So I'm really, really excited. And I see that so many people are already so active in the chat box. So just keep on sharing your answers with us. And now, In the meantime, don't forget that we have this giveaway na hindi lamang yung personal goals, but also your questions. So anything you're curious about under the sun, please do let us know so we can tell our guest speakers and they'll be able to answer them. And you might also get a chance to win your own journal. Okay, so now we move on to our second guest speaker. Joining our conversation is someone na sinabi ni Paula, di ba? Paula, yung last part ng journal niya is stickers. And super sakto because our next guest is a sticker artist and a creative entrepreneur. So tonight, she'll show us different kinds of content that we can put inside our journal and talk about creative ways that we can journal. So I'm really, really excited. Let's all give a virtual applause to Jana San Miguel. Hey, Jana.
Hi, Ayen. Good evening. Good evening, everyone. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. I really enjoyed Paula's talk earlier. Sobrang nakaka-relate ako. While backstage nakikitawa ako sa inyong dalawa. Yeah,
And
ang ganda.
I think you mentioned that you're like in a creative space or but it's actually your basement. Maybe you can
Yeah.
share a little bit about that.
Yeah, so this is my little corner. I'm actually located in our basement here at home. So I think the phrase "I'm working under my mother's roof" is really sobrang totoo and
Relate din
literal.
ako dyan. Relate din ako. Shout out to my nanay.
Yeah. So thank you, Ayan, for your wonderful introduction. But I think dahil sobrang relatable ako nung sa mga sinabi ni Paula, I want to share to you my own journey. So I want to share different creative ways on how I journal, or basically pwede bang kwentuhan ko na lang kayo kung paano ako
Kwento
nag-start?
lang.
Yeah. So I think we will start with how or what I did when in the past. I think where it all began, lahat tayo siguro alam natin yung function ng assignment notebook when we were still in grade school. I think doon ako nag-start. I love decorating my assignment notebook even though napapagalitan ako ng mga teachers. Di ba kasi medyo strict pa nung
Kasi
mga,
dapat may template, di ba, na
yeah,
kailangan lang i-follow.
very, meron yan yung mga homework for today, quizzes. Pero ako parang I doodle and add stickers pa on my assignment notebook. So, I think doon ako nag-start talaga. And from there, I tried different styles. I can't remember na kung saan ako nag-start, pero like what Paula said earlier, talagang trial and error ang journaling. Yeah, I tried to color code my journals like kay Paula. I tried buying different pens, pero ewan ko na kung nasaan siya.
Nasaan na
Parang,
sila?
yeah, sobrang daming color. Hindi ko na alam kung saan ako magpo-focus. And just like Paula, I also, here in the photo, as I don't think if you can see it, I even include flat tops pa. Yung wrapper ng flat tops. I don't know.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, sobrang childhood ano siya, treat.
Mm. Pero this planner, I think this way back 2008 pa 'to, eh. Itong specific na 'to. So, buti hindi siya nilanggam. Yeah, and I also tried different sizes ng planner. Pero, doing all of that, parang mas na-pressure ako kaysa ma-distress ako, 'di ba? Dapat ang journaling is nakaka-relax for us. Hindi
Yeah.
siya yung parang masa-stress ka sa dami mong backlogs, yung ang dami mong blank days. So, I tried kung ano talaga yung magwo-work sa akin. And then eventually, I came across this quote from one of my favorite YouTubers. I just want to share this to you. Sabi niya, you just have to start where you are with the skills or things that you have and trust that as you keep making, you are gonna get better and your style will improve. So parang, oo nga naman, ba't ko nga ba pinipressure yung sarili ko? Akin yung journal ko, di ba? So, for now, I want to talk naman kung ano yung nag-work sa akin after all those trials and errors. Currently, I use these types of journals. hindi ganito karami yung ginagamit ko. Parang ano lang siya, hindi siya
Ideas.
yeah. I usually collect them in one notebook and then parang,
Mm.
ano ba yung tawag nun? Parang siyang filler or may
Section or
divider.
feature, parang ganun. Tapos
Yeah.
may parang bookmark or divider to know that ito yung end ng Bible journal mo and then this is the gratitude log. Tama ba?
Yeah. Parang may sections po siya, naka-divide siya into segments. So, one of those sections is a planner where I set my goals and I keep track of the things I want to track. And then I have this gratitude log where before I sleep, I make sure na nililista ko yung top 3 things I'm thankful for the day. And I try na hindi siya yung sobrang generic na masarap yung ulam namin. But parang yung mga kakaibang nangyayari daily. And I also use a Bible journal kasi I keep track of the Bible verses and studies I do para din daily meron tayong quiet time and devotion. Also, memory keeping for the significant events. A commonplace book where I don't know, I think you can relate to this, Ayen, pero alam mo yung parang nakikinig ka lang ng podcast and may very inspirational
Parang,
quotes.
oh my God, I need to write this down. Or
Yeah,
else makakalimutan ko.
yeah, and
I
then
get
hindi mo alam
it.
kung saan mo siya ilalagay. So, para siyang notes part, ganun. And an art journal na random lang kapag ka nakakalabas ka, minsan, ngayon, pwede na minsan lumabas. And then you will, um, bigla ka nalang masa-struck ng ideas. So,
Yeah.
pwede kang maglagay ng color schemes or pwede yung magagandang tissue sa mga restaurants. I just paste it there.
Actually, Dobby's asking, anong favorite K-drama mo at the moment? Since you
Hala.
mentioned K-drama series, pressure.
Yeah. So, my favorite K-drama I think of all time talaga, kanina nga I was watching para medyo chill muna yung day, is Doctor Romantic. I think it was recommended also by one of my client turned friends. Sabi niya sobrang ganda raw. So you guys should watch that, Doctor Romantic. Super, super cool drama. I think within 15 minutes, sobrang hooked ka na niya sa kanya.
And
Anyway,
super
so,
funny lang sa comment section before you move on to your next point
sure.
was marami rin nagko-collect ng magagandang tissue in our readers. So si Zyrel, si Odette, mukhang marami kang kabarkada. At kung may mga Rex na naman kayo, makita niyo si Jana, alam niyo na na meron siyang
May makikita kang
extra
punit
tissue.
dun sa
Yung
dun sa
logo na
placement. Yeah. Super cool kaya nung lalo yung parang mga vintage type, 'di ba? Anyway, so ayun nga yung mga list na yan, parang siyang no-brainer list na lang na parang like this emergency checklist, parang 'di ba in times of wag naman sana like calamities, hindi ka na mag-iisip,
Yeah,
kukunin mo na lang
that's
yung
true.
mga kailangan mo, the things to pack para wala kang makalimutan. So, yun, basically, ganun lang yung ginagawa ko sa journals ko. And actually, journaling has lots of benefits for us. Alam naman natin yan, di ba? So, number 1 for me, I use my journal to organize my thoughts. Because as an artist, I think, ayun nga, proven na na-collectors tayo, hindi lang ng placemat and ng tissue, kundi like mga ideas, kinokollect natin siya. So, sobrang cluttered ng brain natin if wala tayong paglalagyan ng mga information na yun. And I use my planner then to improve my writing. Hindi lang siya yung handwriting, but on how I process my emotions tulad ng sinabi ni Paula kanina. Parang it serves as an outlet, diba? And number 3, ayun nga, I use my journal to set my goals. I usually do this every Sunday evening para ready na ako sa following week. And I'm going to talk about this later na that it helps me talaga keep track of my progress throughout the entire week. And I use my journal as a distressor. So, sabi ko nga, if nasa stress ka, wag mo na lang ituloy kasi dapat dun ka nagre-release ng stress mo. So,
That's true.
whenever I play with my journals, parang yun na yung me time ko. 'Di ba parang at peace ka, kasama mo yung mga pens mo, yung notebooks and stickers. Wala, parang wala, you're very Ano ba yung tawag nila dun?
I
Hindi
guess
ka
it's like self-care. Like it's
Mhm.
your time to like just de-stress, and it's also one of the cheapest way of self-care kasi all you really need is a journal, right? And a pen
Yeah.
or the other kind of materials that you can find at home.
Totoo. Kaya sobrang ayun nga, sobrang beneficial talaga sa atin ng journaling even though akala natin nagkakalat lang tayo, pero yun pala nagbe-benefit na siya sa atin.
Yeah.
So, yan
And
yung
actually, before you move on to the next point, since you shared your reasons for starting a journal, we'd also like to know our readers' reasons. So, what are your reasons for starting a journal? Just share it on the comment section below, para we can also relate and see all the different benefits and values of starting this practice. And for me, like nakarelate ako dun sa number 4 and number 1 point ni Jana, which I think a lot of the readers also mentioned that it's really to declutter your mind. And when you declutter your mind, it also relieves stress and anxiety.
yeah, I'm excited to see what's their reason here in the comment section. Nakakatuwa lang
Yeah,
makita. Okay, so while
dami.
my current planning system works well ngayon, alam mo yung
Mhm,
parang ang dami mo pang gustong i-try lalo this coming 2021. So for
mhm,
2021 ay medyo na-inspire ako dun sa journal pages ni Paula. So I want to try to print more photos in my journal kasi parang sobrang cool to keep track of those very good memories. Intangible na siya, hindi lang tayo sa phone nagtitingin ng photos ngayon, 'di ba? And tulad ng sinabi ko kanina, parang kasi I set my goals weekly. So next year, I want to set monthly goals instead of weekly para mas nagiging alam ko kung saan papunta yung month ko. I
mhm.
also want to try to log more memories, hindi lang siya puro function. Parang gusto ko siyang gawing fun. And I want to try to sketch kasi ayun nga, ang ganda nung mga doodles ni Paula. Parang gusto ko rin ng gano'n. Yeah. So, ayun lang, parang yun yung naging journey ko for my yun ang journaling journey ko. I just want
Mm.
to tell you everyone na lang na keep in mind that making the very first mark in your planner or your journals and notebooks is the most difficult part. 'Di ba parang gets niyo ba um, yung first
Parang
page,
before,
skip mo pa?
parang I guess that's same as like when you have a big project, right? Like right before
Mhm.
you start making the project, parang oh my God, in-overthink mo na siya. Like what can go wrong? Kulang ako sa
Yeah.
ink, kulang ako sa paper. Sayang yung paper, sobrang ganda ang pattern sinasabi ko. So, sobrang talagang chaos siya in your head.
Kaya dapat talaga ayun, tama ka Miss Ayen na do not overthink talaga. Don't care about aesthetics much or how good your penmanship style or ilan yung pen na meron ka. Kasi you'll eventually figure it out as you go. And depending on your system, it will take time talaga. And then second is make use of what you have. 'Di ba sabi nga po ni Miss Paula earlier, you just need a journal and a pen and then everything will follow na lang. Don't be intimidated if you don't have that much stationary supplies or
Mhm.
basta ikaw naman yan eh. So, make use of what you have. Marami yan. Hindi, mga tissue dyan. Marami yung tissue dyan. And lastly,
Marami
yung,
placemats at tissue. Baka padala mo na lang sa Grab or sa ano, sa delivery mo.
yeah, yung mga paper bags na yan, pwede yung paper. 'Di ba? Uso pa naman yung mga brown papers na yan. And lastly, keep in mind or remember that it's your journal. You
Mm.
journal for yourself. You don't have to impress anyone. Pwede mo naman siyang hindi i-share sa social media
That's true.
or talagang for you yan eh. Hindi mo kailangan ng approval ng iba. No rules nga, 'di ba? You just
Mm.
yes, you can look for ideas, but you find your own system. You find what works for you kasi what works for others might not work for you. And remember that you're gonna change things as you go. Stop comparing yourself lang to others and remember that your journal is a safe space. So dapat dun ka pinaka-comfortable. And ayun, before I end, I just want to leave these two words to everyone here tonight. Um, you just start. Start now, and make use of what you have. Yun lang po yung
Thank you
yun ang
so much,
aking story.
Jana.
Mhm.
Sobrang dami nga nagtatanong when is the best time to start. So I guess yun na yung sinabi mo. Just start. As in,
Yeah.
kung kailan ka na ready, kung kailan meron ka ng space where you can actually write things down
Mhm.
and not just worry so much about your day-to-day responsibilities and deadlines, that's the best
Mhm.
time to start.
Yeah, yeah, I agree, Miss Ayen.
And I think you have a surprise for us because you're actually going to do a live demo. I think this is the first I've ever experienced na. So Jana will be using one of her giving journals. I think we have the same journal kasi pares tayong pink. And
Ah, yeah.
then just what it's like to really just start things off with a blank sheet of paper. And as mentioned, don't be intimidated. It can be your own thing. And sabi nga ni Ronald dun sa comment section, content over form.
Yeah. So, I will try lang kasi every time I meet with my planner friends and 'di ba medyo busy talaga tayo. We try to do this 5 or 10 minute challenge. So, kasi hindi
Mhm.
ako masyadong matagal mag-journal talaga since I write things as the week go. So, I will try my best to do a planner spread within a span of 5 minutes, sorry. So, will you be
Go.
joining me, Miss Ryan? I
Yep,
don't
andito ako. Pero parang nasa-stress ako if I'm gonna do it. I'll just read the comment section
Sure,
as you go.
sure, sige po. So, basically, on my plan or my journal, I just first put up different washi tapes which I feel like using. Usually, it's pink. I just stick
Mhm.
with the same color spread as I um make this journal spread. Parang no-brainer na sa akin kasi yung pink. Lagi na siyang tuloy-tuloy na magiging siyang pink.
That's true.
And
And for everyone else watching this, you can actually grab your journal and use your pens and maybe feel like as if we were in the same coffee shop or in Jana's
yeah.
basement doing her own spread.
Yeah, and then parang lagi din sa journals ko makakakita kayo ng flower. I don't know
Mm-hmm.
why, maybe kasi parang sobrang dainty niyan tignan. Tapos
Yeah.
parang it just makes everything prettier than it is. And sobrang simple lang talaga yung ginagawa ko kasi parang I expect na I will fill all this with writing. So,
Mm-hmm.
I also love putting inspirational quote. So I don't know if you can see, sabi dito, you don't need to know all of the answers. You just need to be courageous enough, mga ganyan, para inspired tayo throughout the week. And then,
Sobrang
um,
maraming may gusto ng palette mo, by the way. Pink is life daw. And it's so easy in the
yeah,
eyes. So, daming pink, pink fans in our comment section.
kasi parang, I don't know, my mom kasi loves pink. I think, parang
Mm-hmm.
simula bata ako, yun na lang yung color na nakikita ko. Kaya parang doon na ako sanay. Kaya, ayun. And eto, gusto ko sanang i-try 'tong monthly na 'to kasi like, parang yun yung pinakagusto kong gawin for 2021. Instead, I set weekly goals. I want to try to set monthly goals para kahit papaano alam ko yung magiging direction ng magiging month, 'di ba? So, I think ganito lang din talaga ako maggawa ng planner spread. Uh, make things more dainty
Mm-mm.
and
Jana, can you move it a little bit above?
sorry, sorry.
Kasi hindi
Yeah,
ko
sure.
masyado makita. Yeah. I just wanna get the full
Sorry.
picture. Para din may pegs for others.
Yeah, oo nga, sorry. Okay, so
Ayan, there. We
ay
can see
hindi ko
it,
tapos na
the whole page na. Thank you.
yay. So, just like Miss Paula, I love incorporating calligraphy on my spread as well para lalabas yung medyo magisyang artsy since I don't really um put much stuff on
Hmm.
my plan. So, ayan, I think I'm happy with how this turned out. Talagang sobrang simple lang akong gumawa ng spread and ayun, I will maybe keep track of the things that I can list down my gratitude or my top threes in each day. And maybe I'll update you when I fill this
Sige.
up with writing. So
I
here's, I
think
think, my planner spread. for yeah.
Yay! Thank you so much for walking us through that. I know it's nerve-wracking to do one at a time. But super,
Yeah.
ang daming fans dun sa first the color aesthetic. Yeah, next is your flat lay. And it seems like marami ring fans of dried flowers, but they're a little bit worried now that it might make the journal bulky. Do you
Ah,
flatten it out first
yeah,
before putting it on your
mm.
journal?
So, when I uh make this dried flowers, I will first ipit ko muna siya sa dalawang paper, maybe
Mhm.
folded bond paper, and ipit ko lang siya sa mabigat na book. Then I'll check it after a week or two. Then hindi naman na siya magkakalat after that.
Thank you so much, Jana. I think
Thank you.
same with the comments of the other readers. Parang sobrang relax ako and therapeutic to watch you. What more if I actually am the one doing it on my own spread? So hopefully that gives inspiration for our readers. And mukhang ang dami-dami ng questions in the comment section. I can't really keep track. But now it's our time to actually answer those questions. And for this Q&A, we'll welcome back Paula para lahat tayo magkakasama na ngayon. This is sort of like our planner hub slash bonding via Zoom. It just so happens naka-livestream siya and there's hundreds and hundreds of people in this hangout. But welcome back, Paula.
Hello.
So are you guys ready to answer questions?
Yay!
Game.
All right. So, question number one is from Iba Rala. Hi, Iba. In these times of modern technology and everything is already in our gadget, everything's digital, what are the advantages of going old school? What are the pluses when it comes to old school journaling in comparison to the online thing? And maybe we can start off with Paula. Ano nga ba yung advantage of going old school with the pen and the paper?
Well, I haven't tried doing digital journaling, but I've seen a lot of those spread over the internet. But yeah, for me, when you say analog journaling or doing it by hand, it actually creates a muscle memory. Not to be so scientific about it, but like to relate it with my other professional, which is being a teacher. When you say muscle memory, kasi, whatever you do with your hand, it's actually interconnected with your memory. So, alam mo yun, mas madali mong maaalala yung mga bagay when you really work with it, work it with your own hand. Kasi maliban sa kamay, sa utak, I mean, other visual senses are being used up. So that's why I still prefer using old school journaling. Well, maybe I will try in 2021 the digital
To see
journaling.
the comparison. How about
Yeah.
you, Jana? Na-try mo na ba yung digital log?
Actually, no. Pero when I was still working full-time, since hindi ko siya magawa daily, I just jot down the important things. Tapos, i-rewrite ko na lang siya pagdating ko ng workspace. Parang, tama si Miss Paula, I agree na iba pa rin talaga kapag ka sinusulat mo na siya.
That's true. And pa-shout out daw, hi Don. Yes, shout out to you. And I guess for me, I do both. I do digital for very quick, urgent task, and journaling is more reflective on my end. So it can have different purposes for different people. Let's move on to our next question. And this one is from Karen Ella. Hi, Karen. How did journaling help you, or how do you think journaling will help other people? And maybe you can start first with Jana.
Mhm. Kasi ako, I really have a bad memory. So, kapag hindi ko sinulat ang isang bagay, parang talagang maglalaho na lang siya sa isip ko. So, I think, it's very helpful for me na makita ko siya in paper. Plus, parang, ayun nga, na-organize niya lahat. I think, dahil sobrang scattered ng thoughts ko, most of the time, pag nakita ko na siyang nakalist down, at least alam ko kung ano yung priority na kailangan kong gawin.
So it serves sort of like a second brain on your end, so
Mhm.
you don't forget
Yeah.
the important things. How about you, Paula?
I think my my close friends who really know me well, they would say I'm such a timekeeper because I really like planning, keeping everything on time. So maganda kasi na naka-organize siya on that way. Pero sometimes I try to like learn to be like flexible din about it. But aside from that goal setting or scheduling, it also increases self-awareness kasi it's not enough that you know what your interests or likes are. Sometimes you have to like put it into writing din kasi it tends to be like I mean, if you write it down, mas magiging appreciative ka sa mga bagay na gusto mo at saka interest. Tsaka you delve deeper on those interests or whatever you write about in your journal. So for me, it really increases self-awareness. So hindi lang siya for me, and I hope that would
Yeah,
work with other people as well.
Yeah.
that's true. Parang you'll be surprised what you end up writing. Because people
Yeah.
often ask about, what do I write? Actually, you'll be surprised there's so many things you can write about if you actually pay attention to your brain and what you're feeling right now.
Mhm.
And speaking of feelings, I think we mentioned na during Jana's presentation na nakaka-relieve ng stress yung journaling. So the next question is from Riel Sinclair. Is journaling a stress reliever for you? And do you think this can also help people suffering from maybe like depression or anxiety?
Mm,
And Paula, you can start.
Well, first and foremost, journaling should be a stress reliever for all of us. Whether you're just trying or you're really an enthusiast for journaling. Um, in relation to my previous presentation, which is, I think I started with purely text journaling style way back in my high school days. So, when you log things like highlights of your day, no matter if it's a high or low moment, when you acknowledge those emotions, I think it's already a little win for that day or in your moment. I mean, when you acknowledge your little wins, it will keep you going. So, whenever you do something, I mean, nasabi ko siya sa last part of my presentation, it creates a habit. So, when it keeps you going, I think it distracts you. I mean, whatever you're feeling right now, I mean, if you're doing something else, I think it's a little way for you to like forget na, okay, I should be sad all day. Pero alam mo yun, pag journal ka, I mean, it personally happened to me during quarantine already. So I think journaling should be a stress reliever, not something more stressful. So kung siguro, ano na lang din, reminder na rin na whatever you see in the internet, like, ang ganda nung journal ni ganito, ganyan. I mean, keep it as an inspiration na kasi baka makadagdag siya sa
Yeah,
stress na
that's
nararamdaman
true.
mo.
That's true. And I think Monica from the comment section agree na it shouldn't be stressful because we have to encourage people who start this practice to really make it their own thing. And
yeah.
ikaw lang naman yung may unique point of view na talagang your own. So whether there's inspirations or pegs which are good, but we should avoid comparing ourselves to those kind of standards because some people actually do journaling for a living as well. How about you, Jana? Has there been a very stressful time in your life and journaling actually help you make sense or get through these times?
Yeah, I think daily we deal with stress in our own ways. So I mentioned in my sharing din kanina na I use my journal as a Bible journal or quiet time logs. So I think kasi when you journal talagang or daily you have lots of different negative or positive thoughts na pumapasok sa isip mo eh. So I think one way to filter those thoughts is through journaling. And as I log in my quiet time or sorry, in my devotional journal, I keep being reminded of this wonderful Bible verses that helps me stay positive, that helps me stay hopeful of alam naman natin na better days are coming. So doing that, I think remembering those promises, it really relieves the stress sa atin. And another thing is, uh, you when you write, parang may kinakausap ka. And just like what I said earlier, then that your journal is your safe space. So you can tell your journal your frustrations, your stresses. And talagang kailangan kasi natin ng outlet. Hindi lang natin siguro kung hindi mo siya kayang sabihin sa iba, kaya mo siyang sabihin through your journal. So I think
That's true.
that's really a great way to relieve your stress.
And I think you mentioned, Paula, that one of the journaling prompts is like not just retrospective, right? But looking forward to things to come or things that we would
Mhm.
like to achieve or experience. The next
Yes.
question from Samantha Gonzalez is, how do you cope with the disappointment? Once yung mga nilagay nyo na dun sa journal, sobrang ganda na ng mga goals or plans nyo that you've written in your pages, but it doesn't actually come true, or you're not able to fulfill it in how you expected or envisioned that goal or dream. So you can start first, Paula, and if you can share if this ever happened to you, I'm sure we'll get a lot of insights from that as well.
Well, to be honest, most of the time hindi nasusunod yung nasa planner ko. Kasi I have 2 planners. It's one for the work and other one for the personal thoughts or like collage. But, if you're going to see my planner na for work, marami siyang arrows, which means this task is moved to other date. So it really happens. And the only reminder I could say is the planner should keep you reminded. It should not have a control over you because it's just a thing. I mean, the action is still coming from you. So, hindi naman si planner yung gagawa na task for you. So, the planner should be a reminder only, not something that would do the work for you. So that's
Not
it.
something that also limits you, right? Like if it's
Yes.
somewhere in this date, you can always move the date or also
Mm-hmm.
redefine the goal or dream.
Mm-hmm.
Kasi it's really your life, it's your rules.
Yes.
And sabi mo nga, no rules.
No
How
rules.
about you, Janet?
Yeah, I think lahat din same as Paula, talagang dadating yung time wherein hindi mo mahi-hit yung sinet mong goal. So, before, I tried listing all at once, even the pinaka-simple task so that I would be reminded. Pero now I stick to top 3 things to do na lang every day para yung very realistic siya at hindi ko mape-pressure yung sarili ko at the same time. And another thing is, I think, hindi ko sure, I think relatable to sa inyo, pero yung sinusulat mo na lang siya pero nagawa mo na for the sake of checking those to-dos, 'di ba?
I
So,
do that. Parang tapos ko na yung task, pero like, check pa rin. Pero kasi parang it makes me feel good and gives me fuel to do the next task. So,
at least sure ka na natapos na yung task. Check mo na lang siya.
that's true. So sometimes it's about making goals that are much feasible if it's nearer like everyday tasks. But at the same time, as mentioned by Paula, if it's something naman that wasn't fulfilled as expected, pwede naman nating i-redefine. And shout
Mhm.
out to our guest from the first episode, Dr. Rodney Boncajes is in the comment section. Hello, Doc. And the next question is from Janina Tuazon. Who or what inspires you to get into the journaling venture? Meron bang tao or like specific group of people that kind of just inspire you to keep expanding this practice and really learning more how you can stretch yourselves even more? And maybe Jana, you can start.
So, my parents, my mom and dad, actually, they use their own diary simula nung, ay, hindi ko alam kung ilang taon na sila nun. Pero, reading those entries, parang ang ganda talaga to keep track of those memories, very tangible memories na up to now, in the midst of this digital age, nandyan pa rin siya. So, I think dun nag-start. Pero ngayon, parang once na pumunta ka sa Instagram, 'di ba, sobrang
Sobrang
dami
dami.
sobrang dami mo ng magiging inspiration. Pero, um, hindi talaga parang kahit na-inspire ka sa kanila, you have your own style talaga. Parang you will get ideas from them, pero eventually, it's your own style that will matter in the end.
That's true. So inspiration lamang, hindi naman ano,
Mhm.
imitation.
Yeah.
How about you,
True.
Paula?
So I think since Johnny answered the who part of the question, I'm going to answer the what part of the question. So when you say what inspires me, well, as I've said earlier, it's anything. I mean, yun nga, hindi rin kasi ako mahilig mag-express verbally. So I really like telling stories through journals. So I think those kind of details, day-to-day details, like siguro kahit sobrang mundane niya, like, okay, I received my Shopee delivery today or whatever.
Yay!
I
On
mean,
time and delivery.
I mean, you're happy about it. I mean, you can expand further. How about that little moment that you had for the day? So basically anything lang. Then what inspires you? I think there's I'm not sure if there's like a concrete group in Instagram about local journaling enthusiasts. But I think I met Jana with there as
Oh,
well. Kasi we have a sticker group.
Mhm.
Yeah, right, Jana? I mean,
Mhm.
I only met Jana virtually. Ngayon ko lang
ayan.
nakita yung face niya. For sure niya niya din nakita yung face ko. Pero but I think we have a group chat. Medyo madami kami doon. So I think most of the artists there were also journaling enthusiasts. So ayun, little things lang like those. I mean, you get ideas from other people. You always get inspired because not all the time all the source of inspiration will come from you.
That's true. And everything you're interested in, you're bound to find a group of people that have the same interests. I think there's also a journaling Facebook group, so do check
Yeah.
that out. I'm also part of that since I've been creating journals since 2014. So, yeah, it's a really, really exciting group of people, and everyone has a different style that you can get inspiration from. The next question naman is when you actually get stuck. So maybe the inspiration train has stopped. And how do you get unstuck? Do you ever experience feeling like you don't want to journal anymore or you're overthinking the process? And this question comes from Ruth Ann Cabria. Hi, Ruth. And Jana? So, ano yung time na talagang you felt like you were stuck or you didn't want to journal anymore? And what did you do to overcome that time?
Yeah, I think lagi talaga may time na ayaw mo na lang sumulat or siguro sobrang busy mo, hindi ka makahanap ng time to journal. Eventually, I just like what I've said earlier then, uh, just start if you feel like you have to write something or you want to record a memory or you have plans na hindi mo alam kung saan ka mag-start, you just write them down. And eventually, you'll get there. Mababalik din yung system mo or maybe your system improves pa when you get back. So, I think it's a process din kasi na once you stop, eventually you'll continue din naman doing what you love.
Mhm.
So,
So, hindi naman kailangan everyday, right? Pwede naman
Mhm.
magpahinga. But as long as we actually prepare to do it again and not give
Yes.
up on the goal entirely. How about you, Paula?
Usually, well, most of the time this year, I left my 2020 giving journal a lot of blank pages. Pero this month, I tried to like do all the backlog. So it really happened. So I will just remind the viewers that it really happened. So you really don't have to stress yourself out with not like fulfilling the weekly pages. Kasi 2020 giving journal is, I think, weekly yung ano niya, yung format. And it's just that sobrang happy ako na yung this year is really undated. So yes, more freestyle for everyone. So
It's true.
you really have to do it on your own lang, in your own pace. So personally, I really set my goal into writing every day before bedtime. But naiba na yung schedule ko. Ano na siya, parang naging morning na siya, like before I go to work or before I do my work. So it really happens. You really have to like set time for that. Because when you say journaling, it's really zen time. So you have to be reflective. Then you don't force yourself. So yun na lang yung keyword. You don't force yourself. So if your mind is not ready, your emotion is not ready, you're mentally not ready, don't do it. Just do it if you're ready.
Because no one naman is keeping score, right? Wala namang teacher na
So
nagsabi, ay, di mo ginawa today ha, Jano. Nakita ko
wala
lang.
naman due date.
Kasi it's
Uh,
really, really your own practice. All
Mhm.
right? And this
can
is
I
the
ask?
last. Sure, go ahead,
Sorry.
Jana. May
Hindi, parang,
question.
I've been here kasi sa part na parang I have lots of blank pages on my journal and I get stressed over it, I think the best way to manage those very difficult times for us journalers is to not look back on those blank pages. Just move forward. Especially kung dated yung journal mo. Pero yung journal nga natin ngayon is very, very good kasi wala siyang date, hindi ka mape-pressure if you have blank pages. Pero just
That's
move
true.
forward.
That's true. Sabi nga dun ni William Walter, we have our own timelines.
Mhm.
Sometimes that means moving another page and really just welcoming a new chapter rather than staying stuck in the old one. Okay, this is the very last question. So we'll change things up. So yung 7 questions that we chose, you'll get a journal. Congratulations. And then the 3 best personal goals will also get a journal each. So while tapos na yung question and answer portion of our thing, you can keep on sharing your personal goals on the comment section. And we'll be choosing them by the end of this workshop. So this last question, and congratulations to this winner, is from Gemalyn Lakay Kalingasan. So do you have any tips for a working mom or stay-at-home mom or even dad or parents who struggle to find time amidst the demands of being a parent, but they still want to find time, self-care, me time through journaling? So, yun nga, kapag sobrang stressful and iba pa yung may other person or people involved, how can you make time for journaling? And Jana, you can start.
Okay, so for me naman, kasi I use my journal as a functional journal or functional notebook. So to keep track of my goals throughout the week, I spend my Sunday evening just doing the layout I did earlier para wala akong problema the rest of the week. And then um, as the week go by, eventually I will just fill it out with writings. Hindi ko na sinusulat siya sa post-it notes. Diretso na siya sa notebook. So para yun na yung nagiging purpose ng journal ko. Kasi yeah, as a mom, I think kasi yung mom ko mahilig din talaga siya mag-planner. Pero yung planner niya hindi niya nasusulatan because of how busy she is. Pero nagse-set aside siya din ng time to do the journaling. Kaya I think that's the best time talaga. Maybe 1 or 2 days a week and then diretso ka na sa journal.
Thanks, Jana. How about Paula? Any advice for stay-at-home mom and parents?
So since Janet talked about the functional use of the planner, I think I've met a lot of working moms already in my previous workshop. So when I asked them about journaling on time, there's no such thing as really journaling on time because you really have to do it on your own. I mean, you really don't have to care sometimes if it's still dated planner or what. Pero yun, sometimes just leave it blank. But for example, in my case before, there's a lot of weeks that I've left it blank, pero may mga laman siyang like receipts or sticker. I mean, for me, that's already a memory keeping. It doesn't have to like you write a story about this, ganito, ganyan. I mean, enough na yung collage or sabihin natin, siguro picture lang. And then, sometimes parang nagdoodle lang ako ng kape for
Yeah.
me to commemorate that I stayed in a cafe hanging out. So, I mean, you don't really need to like stick to a particular journaling style like purely text or drawing. Ayun. So I think what was the other question? Any
Yep.
tips for
So
working mom?
parang so it's basically you can just put anything. It doesn't have to be a
Yes.
spread or full art or anything creative. As long
Yes,
as you put
actually.
something down, that's already you considering. I mean, that
Mm.
is already counted as a journaling practice. And I think,
Another
yep.
okay. I think
I was just gonna. Okay, go go ahead, Paula.
pwede ko pa maidagdag with that.
Sure.
Siguro sa working moms na parang mas artsy or on the creative side already, nakapag-explore na. I think filling your planner pages na blank pages with quotes or practice lang ng calligraphy would do. Sometimes,
Mm-hmm.
yung iba, paint swatches nga lang yung nilalagay.
That's true.
That's already a spread.
It depends on your style. And just to
Yeah.
share, I have a friend, she's a working mom, Reese Fernandez Ruiz. So she does morning pages, and that's the practice of like stream of consciousness. Usually dapat 3 pages siya in total para talagang morning pages practice siya. But since she's a working mom and she's an entrepreneur and ang dami niya talagang kailangan gawing responsibility, sometimes it's just one word or one sentence that she writes. And then itutuloy niya tomorrow or whenever she has the time. And it's kind of interesting to see what she comes up with since hindi siya full spread. Pero since meron ka ng one word, it's still part of your practice and it's still
Yeah.
counted as your own thing or way of expression. All right. Maraming salamat, Jana and Paula, for answering all these questions. Sobrang dami pang questions that we won't be able to respond to given the time, but I'd like to know how can our readers reach you? What are your social media platforms? How can they learn more about your work? And do you have any workshops and stuff like that? Any other ways for them to get inspiration from you? And we can start first with Paula. So let us know how can we reach out to you?
So yes, thank you to everyone who stayed throughout this episode. And if you want to see some of my journal spread for your inspiration, if you think you want to start for 2021, you can see some of my flip throughs there, tips, and you follow me at Instagram. I'm more active there at Paula underscore Koala. It's PAOLA underscore KOALA. Ayan. So, my Facebook page is The Mighty Pau Cat because I love cats. Okay. Sorry, it's so
I
obvious.
love cats too. I have a cat. His name is Vico. Hi, Vico.
Hi, cutie, Biko. Okay, ba Biko? Reminds me of
Thank
someone.
you. All right. Yep. You know, you guessed it right. And how about you, Jana? How can we reach out to you? And I heard meron ka pang pasabog or surprise for our viewers tonight.
Yeah, you can follow me na lang on Instagram, same as Paula. Mas active din ako sa Instagram. You can follow my shop at Crafts Delight. We also have a Facebook page and a small YouTube channel, which I plan to be more active on the coming years or months. I don't know. And as you can see below, I have a shop code when you check out from our Shopee store. You can use this code to avail of 10% discount. You can screenshot na lang craft
Yay.
CCC10 to get 10% off, and it's valid until January 31, 2021. Thank you.
Salamat sa pa-voucher, Jana. Hopefully, those people who have been asking, where can I get materials, stickers, washi tape? Ayan na, may code pa from Jana. And for inspiration, please check out also Paula's Instagram. It's really like a burst of color and lots of things to look at and also gain inspiration for your own practice. Okay. Whew, now we're down to the last part of our workshop at ito na yung pinakahihintay ng most of our viewers. As mentioned, thank you so much for sticking with us. And now we're going to announce the winners. So again, we're giving away 10 journals. Tama ba? Yeah, 10. Kanina 3, naging 10 na. So we'll be flashing the names in a bit, but I want to do a drum roll, please. So drum roll, tulungan niyo naman ako, Jana. And so the winners, first is yung winners muna for the questions. Alam niyo na naman, di ba? So questions, congratulations to Iba, Karen, Riel, Samantha, Janina, Ruth Ann, and last but not the least, Mommy Gemalyn Lakay. Congratulations, guys. Please send a direct message to the Caring Cup Facebook page to be able to claim your giving journals. And you can even maybe share your preferred color if kaya. All right, congratulations. And now we move on to our next 3 winners, the ones who share their most impactful 3 personal goals for 2021. And our winners are, drum roll again. Our winners are Florina Bakay, Renfrey Lopez, and the Minkai Life. Congratulations,
Woo!
guys!
Congrats!
Yay!
Yay!
I hope you guys will be able to share your personal goals and actually not just share them but turn them into reality in 2021. And congratulations again for everyone who won one of the journals. Please send a direct message to the Caring Cup Facebook page with your important details as well as your address, contact number, and maybe preferred color of the journal. That's all the time we have for tonight, Grabe. The time really flew by so fast, but hopefully, when we do have the time to get our journals, we can actually slow down and really appreciate our everyday moments. So, thank you again to Jana and Paula for joining us tonight. So, you can just send your quick thank yous to our viewers today.
So, yes, thank you to everyone who stayed throughout our episode. Hope it will inspire you to start your journal, like maybe tonight, tomorrow, or well, again, maybe next year.
Next week.
And let's have a hopeful 2021, everyone.
Yeah, thank you everyone for tuning in on our live session, and we hope na-inspire namin kayo. We're excited to see your journal pages next year. So, you can tag us also so we can see your pages. Thank
Yeah,
you so
that's true.
much.
Thank you guys so much. And as mentioned sa mga workshop nila kanina, for Paula, there are no rules. And
Mhm.
for Jana, just start. So if you combine those two, there are no rules and just start your journal. And for the rest of our viewers that weren't able, unfortunately, to get one of our giveaway, the Coffee Bean and Tea Leaves Giving Journal is available in all of their branches. All you have to do is collect holiday stamps with every purchase of a regular or large drink from CBTL. You'll need 12 holiday stamps to get one of these lovely journals, and you can even choose what color, but I think lahat naman sila maganda. And the good news is, until December 20, when you purchase your drink, you actually get double the stamps. So, hindi na kailangan ng 12 drinks na tuloy-tuloy na caffeine. You can actually just get 6 and then it's double na and you get your own journal. And I think si Paula iba yung color niya, so that's
Yeah.
also
Yeah.
one. And Jana and I are twinsies with our
Yay.
journals. So again, thank you so much for joining us for the second episode of Caring Cup. Be sure to join us for the next episode by following our pages on Facebook, the Coffee Bean and Tea Leaf and Caring Cup, and on Instagram at CPTLPH and Caring Cup. Again, I'm Ayen de la Torre. Thank you for having me tonight. I'm really, really excited to start my own journaling practice, and my wish to you is that we will have a more better, stronger, and more mindful 2021. Thank you for joining us tonight, and have a good evening. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye. Good night.